Hi guys, so here we are at the part 2 of the video. So what were we studying? We were studying equality in Indian democracy and struggles for it. So I've explained you the main parts like what are the causes of inequality, what are the steps taken by the government, like I've just named what are the steps taken by the government, and what are the constitutional provisions for establishing the equality. मतलब संविधान के मुताबिक क्या सारे वो चीज़ें हैं, क्या सारे वो स्टेप्स लिए गए हैं जो इक्वालिटी को देश में बजाय रखने की मदद करती है. एंड नाउ लेट अस कम व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स टेकन बाय द गवर्नमेंट. सरकार ने इक्वालिटी को प्रमोट करने के लिए पूरे देशवासियों के पास ताकि इक्वालिटी पहुंचे उसको ठीक से ऑपरेट करने के लिए सरकार ने क्या स्टेप्स लिए हैं चलिए देखते हैं. ठीक है. So the steps taken by the taken to neutralize the caste distinction. So you see, casteism has been a crucial and a very controversial problem in our country. From quite a long time. Let's say just after the independence and most probably from the past 30 years. These problems are been drastically imposing a hatred in the countrymen. कहने का मतलब है कि ये जो इशू है ये इशू ना सारे देशवासियों के दिल में एक नफरत सी पैदा करती है. And this is also a problem to which we should fight together. So now let me tell you what casteism is. कहने का मतलब है कि as I said, the Brahmins were at the topmost post in the society and the Shudras were the lowest post. ठीक है. So the Brahmins always got a better chance of education, better chance of finance, better chance in every field. Okay, so they were always advanced, much more advanced than the rest of the people who belonged to other backward castes, be it scheduled caste or scheduled tribe or other backward castes or the minority people of India. You see, only the Brahmins, and not just the Brahmins, the people who belong to the general category, so they all have enjoyed the privilege of being on the top. They used to get the better chances from the rest. So you see, earlier, and nowadays it's a bit different. I'll tell you in the class how it's different. Let's see what is in the book. Some jobs have been reserved for the weaker section of the society, for the scheduled caste 15%, scheduled tribes 7.5% and backward caste 27%. So why? ऐसा क्यों? ऐसा इसलिए क्योंकि जो लोग जनरल कैटेगरीज में आते हैं उन लोगों में से ज़्यादातर लोगों के साथ ही ऐसा हुआ है कि उनके दादा के दादा के दादा जो थे at that very point of time, like from let's go back to the history. And 3 or 4 generations back from that time, they had enjoyed the privilege of being at the top. They had enjoyed the privilege everywhere, be in the field of sports, finance, jobs, education, everywhere उनको ज़्यादा priority दिया जाता था. And इसके अलावा जो भी कास्ट थे ना, imagine 400 or 300 or 400 छोड़ो यार, imagine 100 or 50-60 years back. ठीक है, before the independence. So before the independence, casteism was broadly prevalent in the society. ठीक है, independence से पहले casteism बहुत affected था पूरे देश भर में. So वो लोग ज़्यादा priority, उन लोगों को ज़्यादा priority मिलता था, वो लोगों को हमेशा मतलब privilege मिलता था, हर चीज़ में वो लोग आगे थे. तो जो पिछड़े थे, so वो तो पिछड़े ही रह गए ना. The ones who were standing at the last on the list, standing on the last on the queue, they never got the chance to grow up. I mean, imagine someone who is very poor and someone whose education is also poor, so he's unable to provide good nutrition to his next generation, to his bachas. So he's not able to provide good education to the next generation. तो इस तरह से जो कमज़ोर थे उनका अगला पीढ़ी कमज़ोर ही रह गया और उनका अगला पीढ़ी और कमज़ोर रह गया और ऐसे ऐसे वो लोग कमज़ोर ही रह गए. एंड दैट इज व्हाई डॉक्टर B.R. Ambedkar introduced this introduced the solution to these problems in the Constitution of India. कि जो लोग पिछड़े हुए थे let us tag those people as scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and let us give them a chance ताकि वो लोग सोसाइटी में आगे बढ़ पाए और बाकी लोगों के साथ like if it is a race then let all those start from a single line. पहले क्या होता था कि ये रेस है and the general caste people started from here and the people who are in the other backward caste they started from a very lower point. So obviously these people will win. It's very obvious, right? So the solution to this problem was this reservation. इसीलिए Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar introduced the reservation system in the Constitution of India. समझ में आया? Let's move to the second point. There have been given several relaxations in age, fees, and as well as qualifications. तो बात ये है कि not just reservation, not just the seats are reserved. There are some other relaxations that the age relaxation. I mean, if you are even 2 years older, then also you are eligible to give any kind of certain examination or any kind of post or anything sort of that. And if the fees is also exempted. Like for the general, if it's let's say 200 rupees. For the other backward castes, it's let's say 150 rupees or 100 rupees. क्योंकि वो लोग तो already पिछड़े हुए हैं ना. If you do not give them such chances, then वो कभी आगे बढ़ नहीं पाएंगे. And as a whole, India will never become developed from developing. समझ गए? Yep. They have been provided free examination coaching by the government-run centers. So there are some government-run institutions which provide free coaching and free education to all these backward caste people. This is a good initiative, by the way, but I cannot really name any one of them. मुझे नहीं पता हो सकता है. The midday meal scheme has been introduced in all the government elementary schools, which greatly helped in reducing caste prejudices because the children of all the castes take this meal together. So you see, किसी भी सरकारी स्कूल में जाओगे तो बीच में मतलब in the lunch break you see the school provides खिचड़ी and दाल भात and sabji. कहने का मतलब है कि they provide a meal. And why do they provide meal? So that this meal will drive the kids कि चलो स्कूल जाके कुछ तो मिलेगा. If not education, at least we will get to eat. Do you understand? Yes. Prejudices. Prejudices have two meanings. Firstly, prejudices means अफवाह. अफवाह सबको पता है? अफवाह होता है. And the second meaning is caste prejudices means differences. Caste prejudices means caste differences, discrimination. Okay? Okay. The second point, steps taken to neutralize the ill effects of communalism. Communalism यानी कि जात पात का भेदभाव. ठीक है? तो हिंदू मुस्लिम तो हमेशा से चला आ रहा है. When I was of your age, when I was in class 7, at that time also like Barbeta Road was filled with filthy people, Hindu Muslim, and even now I can smell some of these kind of conflicts going on in the outskirts of the city and some villages. And कभी-कभी तो अपने शहर में बाजार में दिखने को मिल जाता है. बाजार में नहीं मिलता, but yeah, if you go to the northern part of the city, you will see that. So you see, the government took several steps in that direction also. India has been declared a secular state where no religion is favored or discriminated against. So in the Constitution of India, in the 6 fundamental rights, you have right to secularism, which means India is a secular state. कहने का मतलब है कि India will respect everyone and India will respect everyone's choice of religion. Everyone is free to follow whichever religion they want. ठीक है? This is the first step. Second step, every effort has been made to protect the rights of the minorities. The government has set up the minority commission to look into the problems of the minority. So minorities means what is majority? Minority. Majority का opposite होता है minority. Minority का opposite होता है majority. ठीक है? Majority means मतलब ज़्यादातर लोग जहाँ पे हैं. And India का majority है हिंदू लोग, be it Sikh or whatever. ठीक है? तो कहने का मतलब कि most of our Indians worship Om Namah Shivaya, and the rest of the Indians probably say Jesus or Allah. So all these minorities to protect their rights, so that these bloody goons who came to our school that day chanting Jai Shri Ram, these are not bhakts of Jai Shri Ram, these are just goons. Goons means gunda. So that these kind of goons do not affect or do not attack the minorities. Uske liye the government had set up a minority commission. Minority commission means it is an organization that takes care of the fundamental rights, and also takes care of any kind of problem or any big or major issue which is being faced by any part, which has been faced by the minority people in any part of India. All right. Okay. Having specific qualification, persons belonging to any religion can aspire for any post. Maybe may it be the post of the president or the prime minister of India. So कहने का मतलब है कि it doesn't matter whether you are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh or Isai. कहने का मतलब है कि if you are qualified enough, you can also become the prime minister of India, the chief minister of India. You can become the MLA. See guys, let me tell you a very basic example. All of you know Osama bin Laden. If you do not know this, go and Google it. Who is Osama bin Laden? And all of you, I'm sure you know, all of you know Dr. Kalam, right? So both of these belong from the minority, like both of these belong from the same religion. But one is treated as God by almost all the Indians. Yeah, 100% of the Indians treat Dr. Kalam as God. But only some people most of the people treat Osama bin Laden as what? As the devil, the shaitan. So you see, it's not in the religion, it's in the conscience of that very human being. Do you understand? Yeah. Now see, let's see step number 3. Steps taken to neutralize the ill effect of racialism. So you see, racialism is although not prevalent in India, but it was prevalent in the USA, United States of America. वहाँ पे क्या करते थे लोग, जो नीग्रोस थे, नाइजीरियंस को स्लेव बना के, कुत्ता बना के उनके साथ कुत्ते से भी बदतर बर्ताव करते थे. Like they were not just treated as servants, like they were treated much more worse than just servants. Understood? Yeah. In India, racial discrimination is not such a problem, as I said just now. In other countries where racial discrimination poses a problem, such as in the USA or in South Africa, the same was a sort of a mass movement of the affected people. So this is not something which we should discuss now. I'll discuss it later if you have any problem. Let's move to the 4th step. Steps taken by the gender equality and empowerment of women. Beti bachao, beti padhao. है ना? Okay. But I ask you, why beti bachao, why beti padhao? Like when you say the statement, beti bachao, beti padhao, you already are making an assertion that we kill our daughters. अगर बोल रहे हो कि बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि तुम्हारे जो दादा परदादा थे या तुम्हारे बड़े जो थे, वो लोग बेटियों पे अत्याचार करते थे, बेटियों को पढ़ाते नहीं थे, बेटियों को मार डालते थे, है ना? ठीक. Let's see what is in this chapter. In India, women were discriminated against in many ways, so the government had to take various steps for gender equality and empowerment of women. But the first one, women were given equal rights to vote. पहली अच्छी बात यही है कि despite the fact of your sex, you are given equal rights to vote. Like if you are 18, when in India became free, all the women above the age of 21 and later 18. So पहले 21 साल की उम्र हो जाने से you were eligible enough to vote. और आज के डेट पे if any girl is 18 years old, she is allowed to vote. This is one of the best steps taken by the government. Let's see what's the second one. Women were given equal share in the property of their parents. पहले क्या होता था या पहले आज भी होता है, like let's say I'm someone, okay, and I belong from UP or I belong from Rajasthan or I belong from the middle India. Okay, I don't belong from the Seven Sisters Northeast, because Northeastern people don't do this shit. So see, what happens is, let's say I have a son and I have a daughter and I have an asset of 100 crores. So I am supposed to divide my asset into my son and daughter equally. मतलब 50 करोड़ मिलेगा बेटे को, 50 करोड़ मिलेगी बेटी को. लेकिन पहले के ज़माने के लोग और इवन टुडे आज के ज़माने के लोग भी कुछ क्या करते हैं यार, बेटी को शादी करवा दिया, so बेटी is like out of the league, so they transfer all their assets in the name of their son. लेकिन आज के डेट पे it is a offense, it is a crime. बेटी जाके पापा पे केस ठोक सकती है कि पापा ने अपना पूरा जो है जायदाद भैया के नाम पे कर दिया, मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं दिया है. So this is one good initiative by the government. Okay, so if you have a brother, like तुम लोग अपने अपने बाबूजी के assets पे 50% के like you have equal shares. on your father's property, like your father's property divided by your number of you and your number of siblings. Let's come to the third point. Dowry was declared illegal. This is one more step which is very good and which have helped. But even dowry is still prevalent in Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, and a few other states as well. In South India, you will not find this. You will not find this even in our northeast Assam or any of the seven sisters. But yeah, mainly in the Hindi-speaking areas, probably Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Ranchi, Jharkhand, and this some parts of Delhi, I guess. And yeah, of course, Rajasthan. It is still prevalent. दहेज लिया जाता है, मतलब यार अच्छी बात नहीं है. So dowry को उठा दिया गया था. Dowry system was abolished. What's the fourth point? Various steps were taken for the education of the women. To impart education, the girls' various schools and colleges, some exclusively for women, have been opened. As a result of the above efforts made by the reformers and the government, much improvement has come in the status of women in this society, but still something more should be done for the gender equality and empowerment of India. कहने का मतलब ये to promote and to speed up so that like there is a high amount of gap in the education and the, like there's a like in the ratio of educated men is to educated women. So the ratio is like very vast. Like let's say like 1000 में से अगर 900 लड़के पढ़े लिखे हैं तो 1000 में से सिर्फ 50 लड़के ही पढ़े लिखे होती है. So to bridge this gap, much more educational institutions are formed, and those are exclusively for women, ताकि लड़कियां वहाँ पे admitted हो और पढ़ाई करे और आगे बढ़े. ठीक है? Okay. Let's say what are the other steps in detail. Girls should be made economically independent. हाँ, पैसा जरूरी है. लड़कियों तुम लोगों को बोल रहा हूँ यार, like get a job and like have this entrepreneurship spirit in you right from now onwards. Just before 1 year of appearing in your metric examination, you should be very clear in your mind what will you do after writing the metric examination, or else it will be very late. Trust me. So economically independent, like to become economically independent is very, very crucial. Do you understand? But this doesn't mean that you will not do the households, because households are something which should be done by all of us. Okay. The government should make laws more strict against those who are still found demanding dowry at the time of the marriage of their sons. But the government has not made any rules as such that taking dowry is a serious offense. Like if someone takes dowry, you just cannot go and file a complaint. Even if you do, like what will happen? Like what will be the consequence? Like the groom will go to some other bride. So you see, सोच बदलनी चाहिए. सोच एकदम से बदलेगा नहीं. मैं बोल रहा हूँ तुम लोग 40 जन हो, 38 जन हो, तुम लोग जाके अपने अपने फैमिलीज को समझाओ. 38 into 4, 40 into 4 is 160, minus 2 4 like 152. So 152 बताएगा और लोगों को, and this way a change will become. So this is the starting of revolution. Right. Social institutions like the Arya Samaj, the Namdhari movement, etc. should be encouraged to perform dowryless marriages. So there are some social institutions just like the Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj was formed by Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Okay, Raja Ram Mohan Rai कौन है नहीं पता तो Google कर लो. समझ में नहीं आता तो मैं अगले क्लास में बता दूंगा. ठीक है? And the Namdhari movement. The Namdhari movement was another movement who was that was also taken by some good dignitaries, some good revolutionaries and legends of India. Okay, so these two samaj, like these two institutions, solely helped for solely encouraged dowryless marriages. Like their sole motto was to eradicate the system of dowry from the Indian marriage system. Clear? Okay. What is the fifth step? Steps taken for establishing political equality. So political equality means सबको vote मिलना चाहिए, and not just that. It also means girls can also stand in election. Girls should be the next leaders of the next generation. Do you understand? Become the leader of your colony, become the leader of your para, and slightly become the leader of your city, like the municipality and the elections that goes on in the village. Stand in the election of the legislative assembly, stand in the election of the member of the parliament, be the Prime Minister of India. That is it. All the above efforts in neutralizing the ill effects of the inequality would have been quite useless if all adults would not have been given the right to vote. But fortunately for India, the government adopted the principle of universal adult franchising. By which formerly persons of 21 years of age and now 18 age have been given the right to cast their vote irrespective of their caste, religion, race or even educational qualifications or economic capability. So कहने का मतलब है कि तुम लोग कुछ भी हो, कहीं भी हो, पैसा कम हो ज़्यादा हो, एजुकेशन कम हो ज़्यादा हो, you guys are allowed to vote irrespective of your sex, male ho, female ho, doesn't matter. You, if you are 18 years of age and if you have got a PAN card, if you are a citizen of India, then you are ought to vote. Okay? Now see, let us study what was the struggle for equality. Like this is one of the main part. Like, believe me, there was a hell lot of struggle to fight for this equality. And no, the Aam Janta suffered. They did not fight. Who fought was the reformers. Now let's study. In India, as well as in other parts of the world, people have fought big battles to get the right to equality in social, religious, racial, economic and political fields. ये सारे fields में सबको equal rights चाहिए, है ना? ठीक है. Number one, movement started in India against the racial discrimination of the British government. So जो ब्रिटिश आए थे हम लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बना के हम लोगों को लूटने, ये लोग भी यही सब करते थे. तो उसको हटाने के लिए क्या किया? Like, let's see. Before the independence of the country, the Indian National Congress fought against the policy of the racial discrimination as was followed by the British government. In 1878, when the British government passed the Vernacular Press Act to gag the Indian press, the Indian people vehemently opposed it. Ultimately, the British government was forced to repeal it in 1881. Thus, equality was reported at last in the field of printing. Till the independence of the country, the Indians continued to oppose the racial policy of the British government, and the Indians opposed such a policy, so it had to amend its ways. So what happened was, the British discriminated among us also. Like they injected this sense of racialism in us. Like हम लोगों को ऐसे सिखा दिया so that we discriminate on ourselves. कोई काला है, कोई गोरा है. तो ऐसे करके ताकि हम लोग ऐसे सोचने लगे, they tried to induce this kind of mentality in our thoughts. But in 1878, when the British government passed the